again, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Scott the Steamroller Steen, and this is the Advanced Sports AI review and preview show. As always, I am joined by Super Bowl champion Femi Ayanbadejo. Femi, how are you, sir?
Hey, Scott. How's it going?
It's going well. Thank you very much. It still sounds weird to have a Super Bowl champion on my show, so on any show that I'm doing. So it's great to have you here. I'm anxious to talk about last week and maybe give a little hint of what's on the horizon for this week. So what's happening?
Yeah. I think we're still trying to find our footing this year on our high confidence picks, but just to keep the masses calm, overall in aggregate, baseline picks and high confidence picks, we are 16 wins, 10 losses, 6 no bets or pushes. So if you think about it, we're 16-10 overall. That's all games. Our issue is that we've been 3-7 on high confidence picks, which is crazy to think. But we know that with regression to the mean and our 3-year performance, that it's going to get better. And we've seen internal numbers. It doesn't help you as a customer or as a fan to tell you about our internal numbers, but I see them. And I don't want to give anything explicit around those numbers now, but I can tell you that those internal numbers match our 3-year performance to the T. And if you actually eliminate our high confidence pick, Scott, we're 13-3 on our baseline picks, which is bonkers.
That's amazing.
Because technically we should be, if we were doing things as we've done in the past, we'd be 13-3 on our high confidence picks. But I do anticipate that we'll see improvement massively over the next couple of weeks. And I'm just asking people to hang in there. And I'm definitely getting a lot of backlash and a lot of people that are asking a lot of questions, calmly and respectfully, of course.
Right.
But I do feel good about what we're going to do. And it's only been 2 weeks. We got 15 more games to go. We've got 16 more regular season weeks, not even counting playoffs. So if you think about it, we still have over 4 months of football. So I'm confident in our ability to perform over the next 16 weeks.
Absolutely. And you had a couple of real nice wins with the high confidence picks. You had the Bucks Lions under 51. That never threatened. You had Pittsburgh -2.5 at Denver. Broncos apparently can't score, so that was a nice, easy win.
Kansas City and Cincinnati screwed us, dude.
Yeah, well,
that fumble. Yep. That scoop and score. Yep. That fumble by Joe Burrow and coming out of their end zone. That got us. But you know what? That's the thing about these early games this year. A lot of 50-yard field goals, which is bonkers to think about.
Right.
Over 90% accuracy on those. And then the turnovers and penalties that are having huge effects on points. Penalties in the end zone that lead to more points, fumbles on the back end that lead to scoop and scores. And yes, those are embedded in a little bit, but I feel like there's been a lot more volatility and just sloppiness as teams play less and less in the preseason. And that volatility isn't always accounted for. Most games are predicted based on some volatility, but not necessarily expecting 10 points from penalties and turnovers necessarily. But, it is what it is. And I think it all evens out in the end. It does all even out in the end, actually.
And even in that KC game on that 4th and 16 play, a ball that Mahomes looked like he overthrew that I don't think they had a chance to catch. There's your PI, and that takes you from a push to a loss.
Actually, no, we had that game won. If there's no points on that we actually have that. We had a half-point advantage still at that point.
Okay, you were 48.
Yeah, so 48.5. Yep, we have 48.5. We had under 48.5, so they were at 48. So you're right. I didn't even count the penalty. If you look at that game, the game is over at that point. You know what I mean?
That's it.
Yeah. So that was going to be another win, another high confidence win had we gotten that.
Well, and I don't want to do too much crying in the beer, but that Niners game was brutal. You figure you're going to miss CMC, but Taylor went for 100 yards, had plenty of offense. They had a blocked punt, a fumble, an interception, all in their own territory. That's hard to overcome.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So the results are the results, but there's some things you just can't account for because they're so wild. We go back to the Tennessee Chicago game, week 1. I mean, They didn't score an offensive touchdown.
Ridiculous.
You know what I mean? Tennessee blew a 17-point lead.
Yep.
And that's what happens. But hey, on a brighter note, I gave you guys Buffalo +3 on last Thursday. That hit. I don't know if you guys played the Chargers versus Carolina, but that was also a game that we were pushing a little bit as a just beneath high confidence threshold. That game hit. And we actually had Atlanta and the points on Monday night, and that hit as well on our baseline. And I'm going to give you another one right now. We've got Jets, New England in New York Thursday night. Take Jets -6. Jets -6 on that one.
There you go. There's an absolute gift coming at you for the Thursday night football game. And just remember, if you guys have been in the habit of watching this on Friday or Saturday, don't do it, because a lot of times Femi has a killer play on Thursday. Had one last week, has one this week. So move it up in your rotation a little bit.
Hey Scott, so everyone views this, huh? On Friday and Saturday. Typically, they don't view it on Thursday morning or Thursday during the day.
Well, it just varies. It just varies, Femi. We get about an equal number of views every day as people find it, and it gets closer to Sunday. So yeah, if it isn't part of your early week rotation, you should absolutely make it so, because we've got 2 Thursday night plays in a row on the big games there on Amazon Prime. So don't miss out on those. Anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
Yeah, no, I think we're good. I think the most important thing is just, it's a long season. We're asking people to hang in there. Just stay the course. We know how volatile things can be, and we know that things can. Momentum is a wild thing. I actually had a real interesting customer reach out to me on Instagram yesterday, and he had said to me that he was so impressed with the baseline predictions, and that he had actually created a 3-game parlay off our baseline, but obviously he missed on the high confidence picks, but that money evened out. And he said, look, man, he's like, you don't run and hide. You respond to everything when people reach out to you. I'm going to give it a full season. I bought the, I'm rolling with you guys. I'm all in, I've bought and paid for in regard to and I'm not going to worry, the week to week volatility.
Right.
And I thought that was pretty stand up of him to kind of say, hey, we're going to stay the course for the season. So yeah, all good. You have any questions for me, Scott? Anything you want me to jump into? Anything you want to talk about? Anything on your mind?
I'll just say, if they're not panicking in Cincinnati and they're not panicking in Baltimore, we shouldn't be panicking after 2 weeks with our picks. How about that?
Yeah, let me say this too about Baltimore, Dallas. Obviously, I bleed purple, but this isn't about my preference or my team. I can tell you that this is the kind of game that both teams probably step up to. And I've seen the line, the furthest I've seen it is Ravens -1.5, and I've seen it as a pick as well. So, if you're in, and once again, I think we had it as a no bet when I looked, because technically, I believe we have the Ravens winning by 1 based on the projection, right? But the line is early. It could change. And the point I would make is that Lamar feasts on NFC teams on the road. He does. Now, I know Dallas isn't your normal average team at home because they're front runners. They like to get into you at home. So with that being said, this probably being a pick is probably a fair place for it to be on a Wednesday before a Sunday 4:30 EST game.
Very good. Very good indeed. Femi, I appreciate you as always for being here. If you guys want to grab some picks, you have baseline or high confidence picks, link's going to be in the description, so make sure you check that out. We'll be doing this every single week as we review the previous week, talk a little bit about the upcoming week, and we're getting ready for that sweep, buddy. We're getting ready for that 5-0 sweep, and I think I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it this weekend.
Appreciate it, Scott. Thank you.
All right, you guys have a great day. Good luck on all of your plays, and we'll be back again next week. See you then.